Hey everybody and welcome back to my channel. So I hope everyone's having a great day. In this video, I'm going to explain how you can claim a missing stimulus payment, as well as how Democrats are trying to raise enough money to provide Americans with new $1,400 stimulus checks. So yes folks, we have a lot of great news to discuss in today's stimulus check update. So you want to be sure to stay until the end of this video. And don't forget to subscribe to my channel and share this video with your friends and family. On this channel folks, I always do my very best in providing you with the most up-to-date and reliable stimulus check news. So it means a lot to me if you can subscribe to my channel. Everybody, Democrats must now...
What if we gave that additional unemployment benefits to employers to incentivize people to go to work?
Well, what if we just cut off the unemployment? I mean, hunger is a pretty powerful thing.
Well, from day one, Republicans opposed adding a supplement to normal unemployment.
Draft a massive social spending package. And before Democrats pass the package, they are facing some internal disagreements over how to fund it. Likely a collection of tax hikes on the wealthiest Americans and as well as investors. President Biden folks, they propose a 28% corporate rate of taxes. But moderate Democrats like Joe Manchin are already uneasy and said they prefer to see a 25% tax rate instead. Folks, do you believe that the wealthiest Americans should pay the most in taxes? Tell me your thoughts in the comments below. In regards to the stimulus payment, Democrats are pushing for a tax overhaul that could raise enough money for two $1,400 stimulus checks.
When you've got Americans stranded, when you are facing 5 days until a deadline, when we're pulling out of a country where we still have Americans stuck, where we still have our troops stuck, where we still have $85 billion of war equipment over there.
And this bill, everybody, could generate $800 billion, and that's enough to finance two stimulus checks of $1,400 for every American. Now, before Democrats pass the package, tax hikes must be done. Democrats are in favor of the current setup, but they want to levy higher taxes to a wider range of profits.
There is a move not to preserve Social Security from those on the other side of the aisle, too many of them, but to end it.
And that's part of the reason the Biden administration is pushing for a 15% minimum tax as part of an agreement with nations in the Organization of Economic Cooperation. And folks, there are even some counties across the country that are sending their residents a $1,400 stimulus check. Albany County, for example, folks, in the state of Wyoming, is set to receive more than $7.5 million in federal stimulus relief money through the American Rescue Plan Act.
Eligibility. And for some people, that's off by as much as 2 years. So depending on the year you were born, benefits kick in at either 66 or 67 years old. And you can still file early, but that means you run the risk of leaving money on the table.
The government did pass the $1.9 trillion stimulus bill last spring, making it the third Economic Recovery Act enacted by Congress since the beginning of the crisis. And the state is expected to receive more than $1 billion of the money, with $174 million to be directed to counties and other local governments based on population. According to funding documents, eligible uses for the money include public health expenditures, addressing crisis-caused negative economic impacts, and investments in water and broadband infrastructure. Commissioners heard this week from representatives of county departments that listed possible ways to use the stimulus money. So yes folks, some mayors are sending out their own county stimulus checks. Has your mayor or your state governor folks sent you a $1,400 or even a $2,000 stimulus check? Tell me in the comments below. Everybody, here's what Bernie Sanders is saying surrounding the Social Security benefits. So if you're missing a stimulus check folks, here's what you have to know. You may need to request a payment trace with the IRS. You can also do this if you misplaced a stimulus check issued to you by the IRS. Now before you start payment trace, check with the IRS about the status of your stimulus payment. If you filed a tax return and expect a tax refund, you can use the Where's My Refund tool to determine your refund status. The IRS allows taxpayers to initiate a request to locate a missing, stolen, or lost payment. And once you start the payment trace, the IRS will determine whether the check was cashed. If it is not, the IRS will cancel the payment and issue a replacement check. So yes folks, there's a lot of news to go over in today's video. Folks, if you found this video useful and helpful, don't forget to subscribe to my channel and share this video with your friends and family. I truly appreciate everybody's amazing support. Until next time, have a great day and stay safe.
So next up, we have emergency rental assistance. So earlier this month, the CDC under the Biden administration, allowed the existing then eviction moratorium to expire. And Congress also did not act before breaking for August recess. They did not act on extending the eviction moratorium. This to myself and to Representative Cori Bush, as well as Representatives Ayanna Pressley, Ilhan Omar, Mondaire Jones, Jimmy Gomez, and many other representatives in the US Congress, was utterly unacceptable. And so this is kind of the middle school stuff sometimes that we see in Congress. There are some people, very likely, there's probably very likely overlap with those 10 conservative Democrats that I was telling you about earlier, and the folks that did not want to extend the national eviction moratorium. But essentially what we know is that there were folks that would have rather have left town than actually cast a vote on whether we should extend the national eviction moratorium. So instead of voting to extend it, and I don't mean voting yes or no, but just voting at all, they didn't want to cast their vote. They decided to leave town. And so myself and some of the other representatives that I mentioned earlier said that is completely unacceptable, and we helped lead a protest on the steps of the Capitol. Myself and Cori Bush and many others slept on the steps of the Capitol for several days, and in order to create the political pressure necessary to prompt the Biden administration to extend the moratorium. And we were successful. And I want to thank many of our constituents, because there was actually a decent amount of constituents that hopped on buses that we provided from here in our district down to Washington, D.C. to also lend their support. And we were successful. And so what we did and what those actions resulted in was eviction protections for 11 million Americans for the month of August. Now, what happened last night was that the Supreme Court overturned the moratorium, and they ended the federal moratorium and said that it could not continue. Now, some people would say, see, there you go, we told you so. But to those folks who say that it was not worth it, I say that protecting 11 million people, even if it's for the month of August, is worth it.